Ooh, hey y'all. I got a Karen story for y'all. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Girl, what are you waiting on? Follow me on Instagram, like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell notification.
Hey, welcome back to another video. Today we are actually going to do a deep dive. I felt like this was actually the perfect timing to talk a little bit about mental health and how spirituality kind of intersect, but with a very specific topic. So we know that during the pandemic, people have been going absolutely insane when it comes to interacting with people. They are acting a mess. Okay, they are completely showing their tail. It's like because people have been at home for so long, they no longer know how to be appropriate and how to socialize with others. We see this by people cutting the food in the store and then also on airlines and airplanes and things like that. So something that I wanted to talk about was the phrase called misery loves company. So this is how I want to go with this. I want you to think about misery as not necessarily simply being an emotion, but being an emotion with movement, like a spirit, like an ego type of situation. So sometimes people say that emotions are energy and motion. So I want you to think about the word misery or the emotion of misery as being energy in motion while I tell you this story. So here's my story time of being in DSW around the holidays. One time I went to DSW because I was looking for something or returning something, and there was a long line that was forming. The registers were parallel to the line that was forming, and there was a holdup at the line, and I was fine. I wasn't in a rush or anything like that. But the woman who was at the register was a white woman, and the sales associate was an African guy. The white woman was trying to make a return. We'll call her Karen. Karen was trying to make a return, and the sales associate couldn't do the return because it was outside of the window. So you know that a lot of stores will have 30, 60, or 90-day return policies, and then outside of that, you have to get a merchandise credit. So Karen said that she bought a pair of shoes for her daughter for Christmas, and the shoes didn't fit, so she wanted to return them. Mind you, Christmas had already passed, and it was past I think DSW has a 60-day policy, so it was outside of their 60-day return window, but she could get a store merchandise credit. Karen didn't want that. The guy kept saying, I'm sorry, ma'am, this is the store policy. I just have to give you this merchandise credit if you would still like to return it. Karen asked for customer service's number, right? So she picks up her phone and she's like calling customer service, and she's talking to the sales associate, and she's like, I need to speak to your manager. I need to speak to your manager. So then, as she's doing all of this, the manager comes over, who also happens to be a black woman. So the manager comes over, and the manager says the exact same thing. So then she's like, oh, I just can't. Like, this is just absolutely insane. So the sales associate and the manager are talking behind the register. They're doing whatever. Karen is waiting to get her way. She's not waiting for anything else other than to get her way. Karen doesn't care that the line is being backed up behind her because Karen wants what she wants in that moment. Karen's ego has now taken over. Okay, so now we're online. I think I am supposed to be the next person to be seen. So Karen is facing this way. The line is facing this way, but now we're looking at her, watching everything go on. Karen turns her body, looks at everyone in the line, and she goes like this, like, oh, like, can you believe it? I immediately divert my eyes somewhere else or to the ground. I don't know where I looked, but I made sure that I did not lock in with her. And let me tell you why I did not lock in with her. Karen was frustrated because she was demanding something that she wanted. She didn't need it. She wanted it. And she wasn't happy with the response that she was getting. So Karen had a reaction. A reaction is different from a response because a response requires for you to think about the consequences and to think about other people before you actually engage in the situation. A reaction is you allowing your emotions to take over. So Karen reacted because she wasn't getting her way. So then, because that misery had become filled up within her and had taken over her entire being, Karen might be a good person, but I don't know, because misery had filled her. So when Karen's miserable spirit turned to look at us and said, "Can you believe this?" She was asking for other people's misery to join in on the party. Do you follow that? So anyone else who was in line, who had been going through something that day, whether that be sadness, anger, depression, misery, or any other negative emotion that could have risen up in them, and then that miserable spirit that Karen had joins forces with the miserable spirit from the people in the line, and then that's what the saying "misery loves company" means. It's not that people intentionally feel bad so they want other people to feel bad. It's this idea of people enjoying drama and wanting to retell the drama, not trauma, to other people. Case in point, I have to check myself when like something goes on in my life. It could be big drama, little drama, whatever. And I'm constantly telling multiple people what happened. Sometimes I'm telling people for a legitimate reason. So usually the first person that I would tell might be my husband. I'll walk him through the process and he'll kind of help me calm down, help me process everything. But when I get to the point where I'm retelling the story to every single person, but I had already calmed down, why am I doing that? Possibly because that misery was trying to grow within me and then attach itself to whatever misery was in another person. And it's the same way, it's the same premise for when people gossip. So whenever you are out during this holiday season, when you're out shopping or when you're out with your family, because some family members are simply miserable, be mindful of that spirit that is seeking to attach itself to you, because it just gets on you so quick and you won't even know that it happened. I have heard that the biggest way to test if you are as spiritually evolved as you think you are is to spend at minimum 1 week with your parents. Because the root of most people's issues comes from their parents. And this is not a shot or anything like that. But the majority of our issues that we face in life come from other people. And then the majority of our positive experiences that we experience in life come from other people. So the root of a lot of people's issues come from their parents. So if you want to test if you have reduced your ego strength, if you are as spiritually sound and awakened as you believe you are, spend 1 week with your parents and watch all of that stuff come back up. So during this holiday season, I encourage you to check your ego, check whatever misery tries to attach to you, and let it be. Divert your eyes, divert your conversation, physically remove yourself from the environment. Do whatever you have to do to protect your spirit, because that is energy in motion. That energy from them can easily come over you and take over you and envelop every goodness that you intended, every sense of goodness that you intended to have that day. So with that being said, that is all that I have. I hope that you take this and you are able to apply it. And happy holidays to you all. Bye.